Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 23 starting June 6, 2016. As always, please seek financial advice when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only to support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, back in the groove. As you can see, week 22 missing. That's right. Move to Pacific Northwest. Setup all done. Back in the trading room. And so here we go. Summertime trading. And we got a month of June with some possible news coming out in the next couple weeks. We'll finish up with that today. Let's jump right into the trading session focus today. 3 markets, 6 setups, total of 107 ticks, 3 major trends. It was trend number 3 today. Trend number 3 with no entry. No entry. There it was. Trend number 3 as she got away from me. That's right. 2 charts set up. Not good enough for me. Obviously way past the entry. Finally 3 to 4 charts in sync. Taking a look at the moving averages, that's right, throwing a T350, and there was your setup. Now, if you wanted to take it at that point, market kind of stalled here for a while and then eventually took off. So kudos to those traders that jumped in on the early but very nice trend. Hike and Ashi bar, solid bodies, tails up, but eventually 4 charts in sync was just too much delayed for me. Look at that, 51.44. Put that together with, that's right, look at the T3 moving averages together with the 51.44. And you have yourself a nice run for the day. 3 major trends for the day. Couple of ticks all around spread out. Not a bad day, not a great day. Nothing to write home about. It's Monday. Economics from Econ Data. It was all about Yellen speaking today down here. Price action. Just waiting on her speaking. Bounced a little bit downside. That's right. It was the AD line. Let's take a look at that AD line as price action lifted in the morning session. European close. Brought it back down to the 10 exponential moving average here on a 10-minute chart. And then Yellen starting to speak here. Price action down to the 750 and then right back upside and plateaued. And that's where we ended up the day. Jump into the 5-minute charts here. We can see all around price action on the crude. Managing to just barely break above the 25-minute open range high. And finally rejecting there at the Globex high. Really not being able to push above that. Finding some price action come all the way back down to about yesterday's high and right back upside to the 25-minute open range high. So in essence, a range-bound day on the crude. Taking a look at the ES up here. Price action up to the average high again, masking that AD line as price action lifted. Bounce back downside to the 25-minute open range low. So really a inside session here. You can see here the 25-minute open range here. A little lift above to the average high and settling right back down around the 25-minute open range high. Price action on the YM, again, same story. Price action lifts, comes back down to the open here as Yellen speaking here, and then market gets a lift up to the average high and eventually returning back down here. We see the 25-minute open range high on the YM and the ES back down to yesterday's high. So pretty much a range-bound day, but 3 nice key trends today. Very nice moves. Let's take a look at the fib projections. Did we get any nice fib levels hit today? Yes, we did. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. There's the YM today. There's our YM lifting up to the upside. And let's go ahead and get rid of those. Those were our midnight opens from a couple weeks ago. There we go. Targets high, lift up, 21.1050, and price action up here. NQ almost to the upside, but never fully hitting its target. Let's jump right into the daily trend. Let's start out looking at the crude here. Crude to the upside again. We said pretty much chop range. Best of best setups was right here. Sell signal downside under the T3 moving averages, crossing over and coming out underneath the 50. So there's one of your better setups for the day, in sync with the 51.44 as the trend was downside. A little bit delay here. Buy signal here. Crossover. 2 charts in sync. Not my kind of setup, so not much to say on the crude today. Take a look at the YM. YM again, nice little morning lift here. Price action, soft pullback, couple ticks to the upside. Again, Yellen's speech coming downside. Again, 2 charts in sync. A little bit of a chase here, not much of a setup, and there it was. Setup number 3 of the day is price action lifted. Let's get those charts a little bit over. There you go. Price action lifting up in the afternoon session. Again, 51.44, just barely downside. So it's really trend number 3 here of the day. Best action back here this morning, post 15 minutes of the open. You got a pullback here, and bang, buy signal, 4 charts, and that was one of our better setups of the day to the upside, 50 above 144. Can't complain about that. Let's take a look at the NQ. It's price action on the NQ, similar story. Price action here, getting that little lift. That's right, 2 charts in sync, pullback. Little bit of a gain here, just a couple ticks. Take the early entry, you've been okay. You might have just barely gotten a point or two off here. Price action, nothing to the downside until you got here. 3 to 4 charts in sync to the downside. That was a nice move. So that was one of the better setups. And then trend number 3 to the upside. Absolutely nice rip. Again, we saw in that picture price action breaking above the T350, and that would have been your late entry, but it was tough to find an entry there. Maybe that indecision candle on the HA bar. Wrapping up on the ES is price action here. Price action breaking above the 51.44. Same story on the ES. 4 charts in sync here. Post 15 minutes of the open. Can't complain about that move. That was one of the moves. Playing catch up here to the downside. Not one of the better moves of the session. And then sell signal here. 3 charts in the red. That was trend number 2. And then trend number 3 eventually breaking above the T350 to the upside. So nice move. 3 major trends for the day. Let's take a look at the daily gaps. We leave any daily gaps? Oh yes, still we got to move. We got a new line here. We got to put in. We'll check those levels here. Actually, let's go ahead and get the high for yesterday. That was 17,822. So there we are. We have a new open gap. We closed this out. Didn't get an opportunity to tell you guys that last week. So open gap is now closed. We can erase that. We can erase that. And now our next open gap downside, 822. And do we have any others downside? Yes, we do. 17,528 is our next nearest one as well. Do we have any open gaps here on the ES as we reach some 2015 highs? We got 2077, 5275, 3975. Yes, I get those texts and emails. What am I talking about? Open gaps or no open gaps downside? I'm only talking about regular trading hours. And yes, 100% guarantee open gaps eventually all get closed. Believe it what you want, they will get closed, and I stick to that. I'm not telling you when they're going to get hit. I'm just telling you price action eventually is coming back down. Take a look at the NQ. We have an open gap down here at 48.75 with 2 to the upside here. We're closing in on those 80.50. So what's going to keep us moving at that trend? Well, watch that 4-hour chart. That's your first sign. And right now, you're looking at an uptrend all the way upside. Here we are, crude again, doing that chop here. Fib extension here, 47.97. We also have a fib extension up here at 55. No, that's an open gap. I'll take a look at that I'll take a look at that fib extension here in a moment, but it's in that same area. 55.41 is the next open gap upside, but coming up to some former highs here, 48.38 and 50.33 as crude holds to the upside. We almost had an open gap here on the crude this morning, but if you take a look at the bigger picture, yes, we still have open gaps down below 46.43 and 24. Yes, I hate to tell you that, but crude eventually will come back down. Take a look at the daily trend. Let's jump over to the daily big pick. And actually, let's take a look at the crude here. Crude on a 1-minute chart here. Price extension there it was 55.75 is our fib extension, 161.8 level. So again, you match that 55.75 with the daily gap up here. There it is, 55.41. There is a strong possibility we might end up going to get that as long as the trend remains upside. So looking ahead, volume a little bit sub under par, but again, look at this 51.44 continue to be support. If price action returns down here, watch for the open gaps. But right now, we continue to hold above that 200 SMA, and we hold above that 50 period moving average as price action holds above that fib extension. So looking ahead, We take a look at the 4-hour chart. Got to update these there. Apologize there. 144 EMA and price action. That was all last week's action as I was out of the office. T3 moving averages again holding upside, finding support above the 50 and 144. Very nice price action. So as long as we hold, as long as this, that's right, as long as this gap holds, this 50-144 gap holds up, and price action continues to lift, that's right, we go chase those levels upside, whether it's the fib extension or whether it's that daily gap as well. Checking in with volume profile again, 600-day VPOC is down below at 45.70. So again, keep that in mind. If price action, once it retraces, that is another level we might see price action retrace too. All right, let's take a look at the 3 indices and looking ahead. Price action here, the 50 price action holding above the 50 and 200 period moving averages on all three key indices here. Again, not impressed with volume again across the board. Has been under the 60 period moving averages for the last at least week and a half as we see price action down here. But again, the big trend, upwards trend all across the board. Take a look at last week's action as we see price action found support at the 50 EMA here on the NQ, so holding upside. Right now, Heiken Ashby bar, solid body, not much strength here, kind of weakness. Again, we haven't seen anything really rock solid as we have seen in the past with 4-hour charts, so kind of a little bit of indecision as we hold at the at these highs here. But again, open gaps up above and support above the 50 EMA. So if price action intraday, always ready in both directions, but if price action starts to filter and shadow downside, solid bodies tails down, I'll look first to my 50 EMA for support, and then look to my 50 MA 200 SMA on the daily. I'll look to open gaps as levels downside, but that has no effect on my intraday setups as I'm always ready in both directions as you saw today. T3 moving averages here on the ES upside, so current trend is holding upside with a much better strength than the NQ, solid body tail up and holding above the 51.44 on both the ES. YM the strongest of the bunch here as price action is lifting higher. Take a look at the volume profile again. We just mentioned the crude down here at 45.70. Taking a look here, 2093.50 for the majority of the last week and a half has been a magnet here. The same thing on the YM here at 17.805. And taking a look at the NQ, we have a 600-day VPOC, which is downside at 42.90. All these open points of control represented by the pink lines. All right, looking ahead, guys, you know what week it is. As we move into the rest of the week, take a wait for the MBA mortgage applications, EIA crude report, Red Star event, jobless claims, as well as consumer sentiment on Friday. Really what we're looking at is contract rollover starting to begin. We're looking at the anticipated announcement of Brexit. We're looking at FOMC next week. So a lot of stuff to move this market in either direction. You never know which way we'll go. All right. That concludes an insight into the daily trend. Feel free to stop by tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra of one simple strategy: any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only trade what's in front of me and on my charts. And as always, leave your bias at the door when trading. I will be back this weekend with my trading session, futures, ETFs, and market cap leaders. Took a couple weeks off, just getting ready for the move, but those futures, ETF, market cap leaders, where each week I look at a variety of different markets, from the futures to the industrials, FX pairs, total stock market index on a general 3 charts, looking at a 4-hour, a daily, and a weekly, and seeing where the trend is currently. Go ahead and click on the Technical Momentum Outlook, about a 100-page newsletter document there with charts and just current trends. So we'll go ahead and pick that up starting next weekend over the summer. All right, guys, happy summer or pre-summer trading as we get into hopefully what's to be a good June. And I can't tell you what's going to happen in July and August, but hey, we got Olympics this summer. We got a presidential election this year, so anything can go. Have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Good day, good night, and good trading.